All right, this is One Last Midnight. Welcome back to another episode of Valheim. Today we're going to look at 3 texture mods that are available in the Nexus Mod Hub. Now I decided to pick these texture packs because they weren't over-the-top texture packs. They're just minor improvements to the existing texture packs. And so we're going to take a look at Badger's 2K Retexture, Valheim Vanilla HD, and the Valheim Textures Upscale X4. I'm mainly going to focus on 2 scenes while evaluating all 3 of these texture packs, and that's going to be in the Black Forest and then also on the inside of a building. I think these 2 scenes clearly illustrate the changes that were made from Valheim's original texture pack. So let's go ahead and take a look at the forest scene. So this is currently Valheim's texture. You can see around the log it's a little bit jagged, and then if you also look at the log that's on the ground, you could see that the moss is the moss, right? This is what you currently see if you haven't changed the texture pack at all. Looking at the Valheim Textures Upscale X4, you can see a slight clarity in the log in front of you, and then also some of the surrounding textures like the trees and the rock and the mossy log that's sitting off to the side. With Vanilla HD, you see even more detail. The log has a little bit of a different texture. Same with the trees, have slightly different bark texture to it. And then also you'll notice that the ferns are a little bit more clear and the rocks in the background look, a little bit smoother. And finally, if we look at Badgers, you can see that Badgers has made even a bigger change to some of the initial textures. The trees have much more detail, the log and the moss is much more detailed, as well as the ferns and the surrounding area. So this kind of gives you an indication of what they're doing. Again, I did not pick texture packs that were focused on completely changing the look and feel of the game. I was looking for texture packs that would just make it a slight improvement to the existing game textures. So let's go ahead and take a look at the inside view. So I chose this scene because there's a lot of things going on. And not only can you see the wood, but there are a lot of little things on the item stands that you can evaluate and see the differences between the 2. So if we look at X4, there's just slight variation of differences here. Like I said, X4 is probably the least intrusive. They've made minor improvements to the textures across the board. So it looks a little bit crisper, a little bit cleaner, but it's not as dramatic as some of the other ones. Vanilla HD, you can immediately see the difference if you're looking at the chair. The chair has a much cleaner look to it. It's no longer as pixelated as before. And even looking at some of the details on the table, the raspberry stands out a lot more. And then the pie is not as pixelated. So Vanilla HD has, a slightly higher fidelity than X4 does. And finally, that brings us to Badger. Now, Badger has the highest fidelity. It also seems like the reflectiveness of the wood is slightly higher because it's a lot brighter. Of course, they don't have all of the textures done because the chair in the background is the same as the vanilla chair. I also think some of their minor items, like the food items, need some more work because the pie looks pretty much the same as the vanilla version, as well as the fish and the cloudberry. So obviously they're not complete with the textures, but you can see that there's a huge difference between the wood and how defined and bright the wood actually is. Now, if you do decide to go with the texture pack, it's all about personal preference, to be honest with you. I don't know what you guys are going to be interested in. I do like some of the graphics in Badger more. But with saying that, I like some of the textures that are in Vanilla HD as well. Like I said, I think the least intrusive is the X4 texture pack. So if you want to go for a slight improvement, I mean, maybe the X4 texture pack would be pretty much along your lines. If you want to see something with a little bit more clarity, maybe Vanilla HD and Badger are right down your alley. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Love to have you in the community. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, you can find the links in the description below, and make sure to hit that notification bell. That way you know when I go live and when I post new videos. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.